I'm in Tahiti, the land of pearls. I fell in love with this breathtaking tropical paradise in 2018 while en route to New Zealand. It's March 2022 and I'm on vacation here. This is Taru Beach. Black volcanic sand covers this strip of land. It sparkles in the sun. Tahiti is relatively young in geological terms, and that's why many beaches are still dominated by this volcanic sand. I said Tahiti is a land of pearls because pearls here are plenty. Some of them are black, just like this beach. I'll try to show you some of them in this film. I started my trip with a flight to Los Angeles, where I had to stay for one day to take a COVID test. Next day, I've flown to Honolulu and I've transferred there to a trans-Pacific flight to Tahiti. I've stayed there for a week and then back to Honolulu. 4 days later, I took a quick hop to the island of Kauai, where I've stayed for 3 days. And from there, I've flown home with a short transfer in Los Angeles. I've landed in Tahiti late in the evening. I was surprised with how nice my hotel room was. It looked like a small apartment, even a small kitchen was there. The morning greeted me with a beautiful view of the Moorea Island in the distance. We'll go there later. The back of the hotel was quite nice too. The covered walkways between the buildings protected the guests from the sun. My room charge included a breakfast buffet. I took a full advantage of it every morning. The local pearl merchants presented their products in the hotel. Did I mention Tahiti being a land of pearls? And look at this tropical vegetation. The city of Papeete cares about its appearance. This palm tree here is not real. It hides the unsightly cellular network antennas. And this small clinic in town was adorned with a beautiful mural. The city market has goods and foods for just about everyone. The currency in Tahiti is called Polynesian franc. The exchange rate is around 100 francs to $1. The airport in Papeete is not large, but it's an important hub for this region. Planes from US, Asia and Australia land here, usually at the crack of dawn. Air Tahiti Nui is a flagship carrier. I've arrived here on Hawaiian Airlines Airbus A330. The flora and fauna of Tahiti is amazing. The year-round warm weather is a blessing for all kinds of creatures, big and small. Fresh water seeps through the porous volcanic rock. Sometimes it creates small pools in the caves like this one. And sometimes, oh no, not this guy again.
Mr. Bombastic.
A sunrise can be a spectacular light show in Tahiti. I've set up a camera in the time-lapse mode at 4 a.m. This was the result. The freshwater pool you see here is one of those infinity pools. It has an edge which blends with the ocean. I've donned my snorkel and I took a swim in it. The edge of the pool ends with a special channel which drains the chlorinated water without dumping it into the ocean. On the other side of the hotel, I found a saltwater pool, which was actually open to the ocean, separated only by a floating barrier. I've noticed saltwater fish swimming around. That was it. Time for some GoPro action again. I've set it up on the bottom and I didn't have to wait long for the fish to visit. They were curious and hungry. I brought a handful of breadcrumbs with me and I've tossed it in. That really got their attention. While swimming in the saltwater pool, I've noticed a resident crab living under the stairs. It was very shy. I set up my GoPro on a small tripod and I've waited patiently. This pool was not chlorinated. The crab was feeding on the algae growth on the stairs. This is the Punui Lagoon. It's also a small sailboat pier. Of course, all kinds of fish live here too. There are more beautiful spots in Tahiti for this kind of films. Unfortunately, many of them were closed or inaccessible thanks to COVID-19 restrictions. Perhaps someday I'll visit Tahiti again to film more of the underwater world. French Polynesia consists of dozens of tropical islands scattered around the region. The island of Tahiti is a capital and a port of entry for most of us. The island of Moorea nearby is an interesting place, and perhaps the most famous one is the island of Bora Bora. I've promised you a trip to Moorea. Here we go. It's a good-sized island, all things considered, but its beauty really shines when you venture inland. I took a passenger ferry, one of many zipping between the ports several times a day. The island is an upscale tourist destination, but it's worth every penny if you can afford it. The word Moorea means yellow lizard. There is one main road surrounding the island and a few more leading inland towards the viewing platforms, and the views are spectacular. I was stunned with the beauty of the beaches in Moorea. Truly, the postcard quality views, one after another. Here is that upscale hotel again. Did I mention Tahitian pearls? I found a store in Moorea chock full of these beauties. It was time to go back. I packed my Citroën back onto a ferry and off we went. More adventures awaited next day. This store was located in the center of Papeete. Robert Vaughan Pearls caters to a high-end clientele with deep pockets. It didn't cost me anything to take a look. Try to guess the price tag of this necklace. Are you ready? The store featured a museum of pearl harvest. It was interesting to see how these things are collected, sorted and sold. I didn't know that an oyster could hold more than one pearl. The main island of Tahiti is a combination of two mountainous islands connected by a narrow strip of land. These mountains bring a lot of fresh water down to the shores. That, of course, creates waterfalls, and just like everything in Tahiti, they are stunning. Take a look. Tihopo, broken skulls. This name was given to a giant wave system in South Tahiti. Only the best, master surfers, dare to try it, those who have seen and done it all. The beast of a wave is a magnet for those surfers, but it's a beast with a ferocious appetite for human life. It took many. Still, people come here for a thrill of an ultimate challenge. I was able to book a short tour to see the monster in person. Take a look. Since COVID-19 decimated the tourism in Tahiti, I was the only passenger on the boat that day. The waves of Tihopo never stop. Day in and day out, they break on the shore, giving the surfers an incredible opportunity to practice their sport. I gave one of the surfers my GoPro camera and I've asked him to take a quick video. He happily obliged. His name was Baptiste.
C'est le vent là, il tourne hein. Bah ouais.
At some point, the waves got short and low, and the whole boat started resonating. I've paid for my tour, but these guys were friends, and Captain Michael let one of them take a breather on board. A beautiful sunset was a nice culmination of this day. The Venus Beach, east of the Papete airport, is yet another one of those black volcanic beaches. I've set up a camp there. A leaky faucet is a popular place for the birds. The beach is accessible to the public and it's nicely equipped with facilities. The sunsets in Tahiti are truly breathtaking. Every night is different and more beautiful than the other. My last sunset here was a jaw-dropping light show. A quick 5-hour flight brought me back to Hawaii. The second part of my vacation was Hawaii. I'm in Oahu, the most populated island with its hustle and bustle of Honolulu. However, Hawaii is the land of pineapples. I'm at the Dole Plantation. Yes, that Dole, the brand we all know from the little stickers in the supermarket. This is where it's all started in 1899. Let's take a closer look. This maze is a cute attraction. I've never been to a garden maze before. Woohoo! Found one of the secrets of the maze. Well, mazes are not my favorite form of entertainment. I know it now. This, however, was pretty cool. A short train trip around the plantation shows a history of the place. The soil is red, full of iron, which is good for growing pineapples.
Just a few announcements as we head out into the plantation. Let's begin our journey with a little history on this special place of Oahu called Wahiawa. Off to our left are pineapple fields and various...
Farming them is a tricky business because you need to find just the right time for the harvest. Pick too soon, the fruit is tart and not ready. Pick too late, and it may spoil in transport. Timing is everything in the pineapple business. A tasty bowl of pineapple ice cream was a nice treat at the end of the day. The city of Honolulu is a mega touristy metropolis dropped in the middle of a tropical island. Yes, the palm trees and the surfers are here, but sometimes it felt like the real Hawaii was lost. This is the suburban Oahu, as seen from a city bus window.
Transit Center, major transfer point, town center of Midland.
I had to travel far beyond the city limits to see more of the Hawaii we know from the postcards. A punch bowl crater in the center of Honolulu is a somber place. It's a memorial dedicated to those who gave their lives in the Pacific Wars. A viewing platform at the top gave me a great vantage point of the city. A quick drive from the Dole Plantation and I'm at the Oahu's North Shore. The Haleiwa Beach is a nice, relaxing spot, far from the noise of Honolulu. The mega-tourism isn't here just yet. I've even spotted a turtle feeding in the shallows. The beach is the surfer's paradise. Young and old, everyone does it in Hawaii. It took me about an hour on a city bus to get to Koloko Beach. It's a rocky place, not very good for surfing or swimming. I've set up my awning here just before the sunset. I took a quick flight from Honolulu and 45 minutes later I've landed in Lihue on the island of Kauai. The first impression was, I'm back in the suburban Chicago. Look at these roads. And then I've noticed the mountains. Yep, still in Hawaii. The title of this film is Pearls and Pineapples. I found them both in one spot at this store in Kauai. This shop offered a choice of pearls, coral and amber products. Is there amber in Hawaii? This is the noni fruit. It's a smelly cousin of a coffee plant. It's not good for eating, but many skincare products, such as creams and lotions, are made of noni. There is a law in Kauai that says the buildings on the island cannot be taller than a palm tree. In other words, no more than 3 floors. This road led to my hotel. Everything here looked legal and up to code. This spot was amazing, a green tunnel road. The canopies of the trees overlapped at the top, creating this beautiful tunnel. I couldn't resist a quick visit to this place, the Kauai Coffee Company. It's a small farm, growing its own coffee beans. It offers tours where you can see how coffee grows, ripens, and how it's processed. It takes a lot of effort to produce 1 cup of coffee. And here we go. The coffee shrubs are much smaller than I thought they would be. These beans look like they're almost ready. A glass beach is a curiosity. At first you might think it's covered in sand. Nope, it's all glass. Somehow, large and small beads of glass found their way to this spot and replaced the normal sand. Waimea Canyon is a breathtaking place in Kauai. It was carved by rainwater in soft volcanic rock. Most of it is still full of iron, and it turns red when exposed to moisture. On my way to the top of the mountain, I've stopped at the viewing platforms or lookouts. The viewing platform at the top surprised me with a weird foggy weather, and suddenly I realized it was not fog. I was standing in the cloud at the top of the mountain. Actually, slightly above the cloud level. You can see it here, the layer of cotton candy and the blue skies above. On the way back, I've stopped at yet another vista point where I've spotted the Niihau Island. It's a private property owned by the Richardson family. There is no public access to the island unless you have a permit. Back at the sea level and a quick stop at the Waimea Pier. And here is another beautiful sunset in Kauai and another look at the private island of Niihau. I took a helicopter flight around Kauai. It gave me a chance to see pretty cool spots around the island, including a waterfall featured in the movie Jurassic Park. The Hanalei Bay is a picturesque beach area at the north coast of Kauai. This is what we usually imagine thinking of Hawaii: stunning beaches, palm trees, and beautiful unspoiled land. Aloha! Here is a handful of classic tongue twisters. In March, it's March 2010. Look at this, it sparkles in the sun. In a few million years, this sand will turn into, Tahiti is a relatively young island. Tahiti is relatively young in geological terms, and that's why many beaches are still dominated by this volcanic sand. Roosters are pretty common in Hawaii. This one was in a hotel in Kauai. And here is one at the Dole Plantation. The second part of my vacation was Hawaii. I'm in Oahu, the most populated island. I'm at the Dole Pineapple Plantation. These flags were pretty cool, but these wires were really unsightly. I've attached my GoPro to a tree, hoping for a nice time lapse. It didn't work, it was really shaky.